Okay, so I think today the main thing is really just to be able to structure responses. When you are preparing for your response, you might just want to do it in the PIL format. It's much clearer that way. Okay, and then I think it also gives you like a an idea or a format to follow. So it is not so messy and it's not so all over the place in terms of your points. Yeah. So today mainly is on talking and oral communication. And then I think I'll just dive straight into it because I don't think I need to go through rules with you anymore, right? The three of you. So PIL, I think most subjects, in fact, of course, other than math, humanities subjects, literature, even for English, we actually do adopt the PIL format. Okay, PIL means point. Hey, wait, hold on. Am I sharing screen? No, I'm not. Okay, now I just want to highlight, I know most of the subjects, they will just say that E stands for explain, but I would think for oral, okay, maybe just want to highlight this part. For oral, on top of explanation, you might also want to give examples and your own experience. Okay, I think I've shared with you, I was the examiner at Anderson Secondary once, right? For oral exam, O levels. And honestly, most students back then, I think the syllabus has not changed. So it's reading aloud. So basically 20 over students came to me and read the same passage. So you can imagine, right, as the examiner, it can get a bit mundane, right? So what really differentiates the better students from the rest is that, if you were to share your own personal experience, I think the examiners will love to hear. Yeah, so it's good to, at least come up with one. Of course, if you've not experienced that before, of course you can fake it, but you need to make sure when you fake it, it's quite believable, right? Otherwise, I would recommend you not to fake it. Okay, it'll be good if you can share some experiences because that really differentiates you from others, and everybody's experiences are different. Okay, so it is something refreshing for the examiner. You don't want to be like talking about things that people might say, then it becomes very boring. Okay. So same thing, point, elaboration, but just want to highlight under E, the third E, you might just want to include examples and experiences as well. Okay, and then lastly, link back. So you can have the structure when you're planning a response for the examiner, just think of this structure. Okay, what's my point going to be? Right? And most of the time when you see the video, you will roughly know what kind of questions they might ask because it's definitely related. Okay, and a lot of times I think the topics that they like to discuss are like family, community, school, and all these things. Yeah, health, IT, I think is a big thing now. They're going to talk about like the devices and all. So all these are common topics that you can prepare for. Okay, so think of some examples. Yeah. So like I say, it helps you to organize your thoughts into a coherent whole. You get over the fear of expressing yourself because some students, they tend to get, jittery when it comes to oral exam. How many of you get jittery when it comes to oral exam, or you're a very confident speaker? You're not afraid of speaking in front of a stranger. For O levels, your examiners will be strangers. I mean, they're teachers from other schools. They are not your own English teachers in school, right? And then of course, if it's school-based oral exam, then that will be teachers from other classes. It will not be your own English teacher. Okay? So how many of you are confident in speaking? Probably unlike you're in debate, right? Isn't it? Yeah? Yeah. So that is good practice actually. It helps you to build your confidence. The girls, Sheena and Chloe, how do you feel about oral? Chloe? Chloe seems a bit reluctant. Are you the same as the picture? You're quite okay, can speak, but maybe sometimes it depends on the topic as well. I think, yeah, you can speak quite well. It's just if it's something that is not familiar. Oh, okay. Yeah, understand, Sheena. Yeah, if it's something not familiar to you, then maybe you might not be so confident speaking about it. Yeah. Okay, so first thing, P stands for what is the point? So basically, it's the answer to your examiner's questions. The question will be given to you first for the plan response portion. Of course, for the conversation part, that part you will not know, but you can roughly predict what is going to be asked. Okay, but in this case, when it's plan response, you can plan an answer. How am I going to elaborate to make the examiner understand what I'm saying better? So you should give details given in the stimulus, which is the video, and use your observation skills to elaborate on your point. Okay, so basically it's just using what you see and what you can make connections with, right? And what are the connotations to what is shown in the video, and then you can talk a little bit more about it. So that's elaboration. Now, the interesting part is not really the point or elaboration. The most interesting part is to give examples. You can give examples by comparing and contrasting. You can give examples like cause and effect kind of examples. Of course, the most interesting one would be you can share your personal experience. That's what, differs you from others, right? So these are the things to take note. And of course, lastly, the link is basically to link back to the main point. I think that we are quite clear about that. Okay. Yeah. So I think this video has been shown to you. Maybe I'll just show it here. Not Singapore context for sure. Okay, right. So what kind of topics do you associate with this video? What kind of topics would you associate with this? Actually, what do you see inside in this video?
Is it like fun activities?
It's a fun activity. They seem to be like spraying the hose at each other, right? The water and splashing at each other. Yeah, it's a fun activity. And what kind of relationship do you think they have?
Family?
Family? Yeah, seems like it. Okay, because if friends, they are probably people from the same age or around the same age. But it seems like, they're young, they're like middle age, probably no elderly, not in the video. Okay, but seems like they're of different age. Okay, teenagers and probably the parents as well. Yeah, but all these assumptions, but I think it's still quite good prediction of what is going on here. So possibly the topic that's going to come up, of course, is going to be about family, it's going to be about bonding, whether family bonds are important, right? Or sometimes it might also be activities like these, but this activity is not specific. I think it's just having fun with the host. Right? If it's like a football, if they're playing a football, then the possible topic might be, is exercise important, right? How do you deem exercise as your priority in life or something like that? Okay, but because they're not playing like a football game or something, so I don't think it's anything related to health. So it's mainly about family. So I guess at this point in time, you would have predicted the topic already. Okay. So let's move on to the next question. Do you think it is important to spend time with family? Why or why not? Can we get do you need time to discuss? Okay, I think we have plenty of time today. Yeah, so maybe, but there are only three of you. So maybe by random, or do you want to go into, I think it's best to be fair. I'll just put you into breakout room, three of you, and just a short discussion. 3 minutes will do. And I'll put you back. Okay? Yeah, so share your viewpoints and then we'll come back to share. That's there. Okay.
Hello.
How was the
So,
discussion?
fruitful, I'll say.
Okay, right. Okay, we'll
So,
wait for the girls. I think they're not here yet.
my reasoning, um, I don't really know how to explain. The only word that I can use is moral reasons.
Moral reasons, as in, I think it's under explanation part, right? Is it under explanation part? Because you're talking about moral reasons.
Elaboration, I'll say.
Okay.
I get very confused between the example and explain. It's like I'm used to point, elaboration, example, link. I am not
Yeah.
very used to this.
I would rather change to this. No, this one is just applicable for oral exam. Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, actually, I just want to highlight that we would use this, I think, for oral exam. Particularly if you notice, I actually cancel the example. Usually, when you are doing like maybe, for example, history or something, it's probably point, elaboration, explain, and link back to the question, right? What do we mean by elaborate? Elaborate means to basically describe even more than what the stimulus has been giving you. Okay, so I have actually cancelled this and put elaboration as the second one. Basically, elaboration means you are supposed to, you know, describe more about your point. Because if you say that yes, okay, I'm sure, I think most of you would have said, yes, I think, it's important to spend time with family. So your elaboration part, you can actually include what you observed. Okay, what you have observed based on the stimulus given to you. So you can say, I've observed that, the people who have spent time with their family in the video seem to be very happy. It does help to reduce stress and anxiety, right? So things like, observations of the stimulus. So that can be under elaboration. So what have you observed in the video? You can actually describe more about it as your elaboration. So that gives you a bit more content to talk about. A lot of times, I think students struggle with oral because they don't know what to talk about, right? Sometimes they get stuck somewhere. So you can actually talk about the observations of your stimulus and how from that you must be able to, think about how they are linked. Okay, so when they seem happy, that they are, their faces are quite happy, it probably can reduce stress and anxiety, right? When you spend time with your family. Okay, the support system. Yeah. So therefore, when this happens, right, maybe it could lead to healthier lifestyle. So these are just additional points, but you didn't explain how it reduces anxiety and stress. You didn't explain how they lead to healthier lifestyle. So that's, or maybe you want to say improves quality of life as well. Okay, so these are points. Your point is basically in terms of, we are talking about oral exam, yeah, we're not talking about like English comprehension or writing. Okay, so this is the point is your answer to your teacher's question or your examiner's question. So my answer is just, do you think it's important to spend time? So my answer is yes, it is important to spend time with family. So that's your point. That's all. Okay, but when it comes to elaboration, you can add on to your point by explaining, like by adding the relevance to it. How are they connected? Or what are the things that are linked to it? Okay, improves quality of life, that's one. Okay, maybe you want to talk about like helps better ourselves. So then you have a lot of things that you can explain, right? Because your elaboration part, you didn't give any explanation. This is without explanation. You are to explain why spending time with family will reduce stress, will lead to healthier lifestyle, will improve quality of life, and will help to better yourself and become better versions of yourself. Okay, so then that comes your explanation parts, right? So maybe you want to talk about, if to reduce stress, maybe you can say, okay, because it helps to improve mental health. When we have like face-to-face communication, it has proven to reduce the occurrence of depression, anxiety, and all. And also, our loved ones are strong emotional support to get us through life's challenges. So that part will be the explanation part. Okay, I think wait, I wrote wrongly. It should be explain, examples, and experience. So it will be even better if you have explained and you give examples and your own personal experience. So that will add on marks to your communication with your examiner. Okay, so maybe you